Hi guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Today we've got a family portrait, and it's not going to be as long as some of the previous ones because these are two very expensive houses, and they are going to be the house of Dusita and the house of Bortnikoff. And so whenever I want a natural oud kick, which I've been on an oud kick lately, I'm wearing a Bortnikoff today as my scent of the day. But I go to Bortnikoff. I have for a long time. I've always liked Bortnikoff. I know some people prefer a Riche La Doré. Some people prefer the Frederick Mall. Some people have, other individual, Sultan Pasha or whoever it may be, places that they go to for oud. But for me, it's always been Bortnikoff. I discovered the brand a couple years back, and I've stuck with them. And so I've never really jumped on board. That's why I never bought a full bottle of things like the Night, for example. I got decants because I have the Bortnikoffs, and to me, they're actually better. But I'll go through this. Today is New Year's Day, so wishing you all a Merry New Year's, Happy New Year's. And I got a comment about my hair. Actually, you will notice it's very long. I do have a professional job, but I work from home, and I have since March of 2020, and so because of that, I've kind of let it grow wild, so to speak. But I kind of slick it back and wet it down, and then as the video goes on, you'll notice it starts to poof out more and more. But I'll make my look a little bit more professional here pretty soon. It's almost haircut time anyway. I can't take it anymore, but. Let's start with the house of Dusita. I only have two, but I want to show you the one that I have a full presentation on because it is glorious, the presentation. It comes in this lacquered box that looks like so, with their symbol here. And the inside is calf skin. It opens up like this. You've got the logo. You have this calf skin lining, which the duck cracked me up when I showed this to him in a picture. He said, "Calf skin box, me lord." And it does feel a little bit, I'm better than you are, so to speak. But the fragrance is very good. And to be honest, I wish they just sold something like this. They can wrap it up in bubble wrap and send it to me and save me $100 or whatever it is on this box. But this is Issara. And I like this fragrance because, it is aromatic and woody, and it has this very interesting tobacco note, but the way that it smells, the easiest way to describe the way that this smells, this came out in 2016, is it smells like if you think back to Halloween days or Halloween nights and you've ever been on like a tractor and they drive you through like a hay maze or something, and you've got that hay sitting in the back of the tractor. There's a pine note in this. There is oak moss. Dusita is a niche house, very expensive, nice presentation and all that. But the smell is fantastic. I think this is leaning masculine because of the tobacco and pine. But there's something about it. There is a vetiver note in here as well. But something about it that I think a woman could easily pull this off, very easily. So this is the only full bottle I have, the full presentation of Dusita Issara in this gorgeous box. And, again, when you have a big collection, you don't always need a full presentation like this. So a lot of times I'll go for these decants, which if you watched my last video on incense, I showed this off as my scent of the day lately. I've been on a bit of an oud kick. This is Ood Infini, but I'll show it off here as well, just in case someone, is watching the family portrait and wants to kind of see. This is their 7.5 ml Discovery Atomizers. It comes like so, and there's a little poem that comes with it that she wrote. Or no, I'm sorry, she didn't wrote. It's just a poem that she included in there. Dawn in the sky, a tiny stream of gold, flows and expands imperceptibly until it covers the whole sky and turns itself into silver. So, whatever that may mean. But the fragrance is a 7.5 ml lipstick atomizer. And you can see it just basically comes like this, and then it you can see the gorgeous color of the juice. I've shown this off before. And so this is Ood Infinity. She claims to use real oud, and I think she does. I like this fragrance. She uses, I believe she uses Laotian oud because it's very rubbery and it's animalic, musky and stuff like that. There is a rose note that she does very well in here. And I think this would smell amazing on a woman. Again, her fragrances are very unisex. A man can definitely wear them, but a confident woman, I think that these, her creations in particular, I think would smell absolutely amazing. So those are the two Dusitas that I have. Now onto the House of Bortnikoff. Now, this is going to be a little tough for me to talk about because oud, especially as a natural, you know, most of the oud that we smell is not real oud because oud is exorbitantly expensive. And, you know, they can also change over time. So I'm going to show you my collection of Bortnikoffs. Let me show you the first bottle here. This is Mysterious Oud. And if you've never seen a Bortnikoff, they basically come in this fantastic packaging. You open it up like so, and you've got this, you know, Roja Dove-like silk around the bottle. And you even have this Roja Dove-like plaque on the front of the bottle. And I'll show you, the next bottle I show you, I think has the older style cap. He updated the cap to have his name engraved in gold here. And it's just an absolute beautiful presentation with the B right there. So this is Mysterious Oud. This is a dark fragrance, by the way. The other thing I should say is since the oud that he uses is a natural oud, basically the quick story of Bortnikoff is that he was in business. He was a partner with Arise Doré, with Russian Atom, and they distilled oud. That's what they did. They actually create their fragrances in Thailand, so they can use any ingredient they want, and I'll show you some here in a little bit. You know, they're not bound to IFRA since they're creating their ingredients in Thailand. But his fragrances they're heavy, they're intense a lot of times. If you've only smelled stuff like Creed Royal Oud or Tom Ford Oud Wood, this is going to knock you off your seat because the opening is just a blast of oud. And beautiful oud, though. You know, it's not like this oud that, oh, it's so good. It has this orange note that runs through it. And one thing about Bortnikoff that I should mention is he's a self-taught perfumer. And so I think that is initially number one, it's a con and it's a pro. It's a con because he didn't learn the blending techniques that a Dominique Ropion learned in the night. But it's a pro because he's willing to do some things that I don't think any trained perfumer would ever do. The way that he does his florals is outside of anything I've ever smelled. He uses stuff like frangipani, lotus, and he makes them in this way that, you know, even if you're a man and you don't like floral notes, you will smell some of his creations and go, oh my God, the floral note is just expertly done. I mean, I don't think you could train it to be done any better. And it's probably a portion of the quality of the ingredients, and it's probably a portion of, you know, his blending techniques. But this here, and it comes with this card that lists the ingredients, and you can see there's a lot of ingredients here. I'll just read them to you real quick. So in the top, you have bergamot, cardamom, amber, shinama, and orange. I'm sorry. Let me try the amber again. Amber, shimama. I swear to God, that's what it says right there. I have no clue what that is, by the way. In the heart, you have rose, haberda, jasmine, cinnamon, clove, myrrh, castoreum, pink pepper, nutmeg, and tonka bean. And then in the base, you have oud roots, wild, and Vietnam. And so you'll notice that he will list the source of the oud a lot of times as well. You have Ood Hindi, Oud Trot, Sandalwood 100K. I have no clue what that is. Probably a specific type of sandalwood. Tolu Balsam, Apopanax, Cedarwood, Lotus, Labdanum, and Vanilla. So the thing about this fragrance, and if you actually go to Fragrantica and type in Mysterious Oud, you will notice that the bottle shown is not the bottle that I am holding right now. And by the way, all of his fragrances for the most part are extrait de parfum. So they're very intense. Some are not, but I'll point out the ones that aren't. So if you go to Fragrantica and type in Mysterious Oud, you will notice that the bottle that's listed on the Fragrantica picture is actually different than the bottle that I have here. And that's because there's different editions. So he originally did the first edition, I think maybe in 2018, and then this is a 2019 bottle, the second edition. And because, you know, there's a limited amount of the type of ouds that they are actually distilling, it's not necessarily a reformulation, but there are minor differences between the two. I have had a chance to smell the original. I think this one's a little bit more animalic. And even though this isn't as dark, you could say, it's a fantastic fragrance. I like it more, actually. The thing about reformulations when it comes to Bortnikoff is that it's not like a reformulation with a regular brand where, you know, it's some big company taking over and they're, you know, using a chemist to make these ingredients. Many of these are natural ingredients. So even though it's reformulated, it's not necessarily maybe reformulated for the worse. It's just reformulated in a different way. You know, there's slight nuances between the different versions. And the thing about smelling a Bortnikoff like this is if you smell this and then you go put on Jacques Bogart, you know, one-man show Oud edition, which I know is a very cheap Oud, but even if you go put on Diptyque's Oud Palau, or, you know, if you go put on Creed's Royal Oud, or whatever it is, these synthetic ouds, they just don't compare to this. And that's why I love Bortnikoff. There are many people in the fragrance community whose noses I very much trust. In fact, I would trust their nose over my nose even, that don't like this stuff. Or they have said Bortnikoff is, you know, for bros, or it's a, you know, it's a sucker's brand, or, you know, whatever it is. I don't feel that way, you know, and I trust my nose, and I will always give you guys my honest 2 cents. And if you're going to get into the oud route, you know, into the oud world, and you're in America like I am, and you can't go to some shop in India and pick up a oud attar and, you know, try it that way, then Bortnikoff and Oudh Doré are a lot of brands that people will look to. I tried Oudh Doré, and I will just tell you from my opinion, I'm a Bortnikoff guy. I feel like Oudh Doré shot out of the cannon as a shooting star, and then his work has kind of gone like this. Whereas with Bortnikoff, I feel like he's had now 3 or 4 collections, and I feel like every collection he is improving his craft as a perfumer. I feel like he is getting better. I feel like he is committed to his craft. I don't feel like he's just trying to sell something. I feel like he really does care and is trying to, you know, put out a piece of art. And these are works of art. This is an unbelievable oud fragrance. It's dark, it's heavy, it's got castoreum, which I love. It's one of my favorite oud fragrances. And so that is Mysterious Oud. So next on the list, we are going to look at another just all out and out oud fragrance. And it is called Oud Maximus. Now, you'll notice that I have the 2020 bottle. I think there was 2 or maybe even 3 bottles before this. And actually I lied. This does have the newer cap. The next one will have the older cap, I believe. But Oud Maximus is basically his take on an all-out oud. I once heard Roja Dove say that his Majestic Oud was supposed to be like if you walked into a palace in Bahrain or, you know, Saudi Arabia, that's what it was supposed to smell like. That's not what it smells like. This is what it's supposed to smell like, to me anyways. This is oh, it's so good. It is it's a heavy rose oud, excuse me, combo. Here, let me read you the notes here because they are very impressive. There's bergamot, sweet orange, pink pepper, jasmine sambac, and cardamom in the top. The heart has rose de mai, Himalayan rose, Indian rose, so 3 rose types here. Hybrid rose, 4, sorry. Attar gulab, which I have no clue what that is. Magnolia frangipani. These are the florals that stand out to me in a lot of his fragrances. Drop the card. Okay. So these frangipani, magnolia, lotus, there's no lotus here, but those type of flowers really pop in Bortnikoff creations. And then there's clove, tonka bean, and then we get to the base. Indian oud, oud roots trat, oud purple ko chang, and in parentheses, feel oud. Feel oud is his distillery, I think, with Arij Doré, if I'm not mistaken. Oud from Sri Lanka, again, parentheses, feel oud. Birch tar, tolu balsam, vanilla, natural deer musk, and civet. And he is supposed to use natural deer musk and natural civet in these creations. So they are, again, they're allowed to use stuff that in normal perfumery you can't use. Some people are against the natural deer musk. If you are, you are. I completely understand. For me, there's another fragrance coming up that focuses on deer musk. I'm going to show you. The natural deer musk adds this pillowy softness that you just can't imagine. I thought natural deer musk would hit you in the face like, bam, it's natural deer musk. And you're like, whoa, no. It is just the most beautiful. It's the most beautifully soft. You know, it would draw somebody in. Even if you took someone who knows nothing about perfumery and you let them smell natural deer musk on you, I think they would be drawn to you in a way, almost like ambergris draws somebody in. This is my favorite oud fragrance, actually. This is my favorite just all-out oud, period. Oud Maximus is an absolute revelation. There's some more coming later on that are, you know, his take on like an oud gourmand. But if you want to smell just the best out-and-out oud, in my opinion, this is it. Now, I have the night here. And the problem that I have with this is a good oud rose combo because it's done by Dominique Ropion. So the pros here is that Dominique Ropion is a pro. You know, he's done maybe 1,000 fragrances. Seriously, he's done so many fragrances. And so what you're getting is his experience as a perfumer, you know. This has shades of Portrait of a Lady, which is one of the greatest fragrances of all time. But what you're not getting is you're not getting very good value for money. This is, for 50 ml, the night will cost you $1,000. This 50 ml bottle of Oud Maximus is normally $350, give or take. $300 to $350. I can't remember exactly which. I get all of my Bortnikoffs from a guy called Fragnanimus. If you actually look that up on Google, just type in Fragnanimus Bortnikoff or Fragnanimus Arij Doré. He'll pull up. He only ships in the US, but I trust him. He works with me. He sends me nice samples, which I'll touch on here later on. And so that's where I get mine from him. He's a official supplier. And so this fragrance to me for 50 ml, okay, $350, 50 ml, $1,000, and this is the better fragrance. So you can get 150 ml for what you're paying for 50 ml here, and to me, I like this better. So, I mean, that's the problem that the Frederick Malle Desert Gem collection, the Night, has, is this is a heavy rose oud. Yes, it probably has some real oud in it, but I can't really tell who they're targeting this towards, you know, because there's so much more better value for money out there if you want real natural oud at a much better price. And I think this oud is much better, to be honest with you. So that's that. That's my favorite oud fragrance from the collection, Oud Maximus. Okay, next we're going to get into some fragrances that have a twist to them. And, you know, early on in Bortnikoff's releases, it was all about showing you the oud. It was showing you the quality of the oud. And there, it's here, you know, in Mysterious Oud and in Oud Maximus, it's really about, you know, the darkness, the beauty of the oud. Now he starts to kind of move into an area where he shows you his skill as a perfumer and how he's come along. This is Shifa De Nord, and this is his take on a Chypre. And you know, it's mossy, it's leathery. It is another. Sorry, this is not the old cap. This is the new cap. The next one will be the old cap. But this fragrance here, let me read you the notes. It does have a peach note, very similar to Mitsuko, but it smells nothing like Mitsuko. Look at the color of the juice, by the way, just as an aside. Look at that. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Everything about this presentation is absolutely gorgeous. And so the notes here: bergamot and orange in the top, peach and nutmeg in the mid. The base has oak moss, benzoin, Siberian deer musk, cedar, birch tar, tonka bean. So again, no oud. I bought this because, so again, I purchased this fragrance not because I wanted an oud fragrance, which is what Bortnikoff is known for. He's known for his oud distilleries, but I purchased this because of his skill as a perfumer. And the natural deer musk in this, the only issue that this fragrance has to me is that it's very similar to the musk fragrance I'm going to show you later on. They have very close similarities. This leads more to the Chypre style. This leads more to the, you know, oak moss and, you know, that forest floor type feel. But there is that natural musk just pops so hard in these fragrances. It's unbelievable. So as far as niche perfumery goes, if you're a Chypre fan and you want to smell something that is out of this world for a Chypre, you know, check this out. If you don't mind the fact that there's real deer musk in this, this is and I love the note of birch tar, by the way. And that birch tar note mixed with the Chypre qualities, the oak moss, it's got that fruity peach in the mid. Oh, it's so good. This is one, most Bortnikoffs, I would say, are, you know, most people would wear them in the cooler weather, the heavy ouds especially. But this is one you can definitely rock in the heat. Maybe not 100-degree heat, but 70, 80, 90, I would totally rock this. Because that natural deer musk just, it almost works like an ambergris. Like I said, it just draws people in. Okay, next. Next is going to be a fragrance for the summer, literally for the summer. And it's his take on a cologne, and it's one of the only ones that is not an extrait de parfum. This is an eau de parfum. You can see right here. This is amber cologne, and this is the old style cap. Here, I'll show you what they used to look like before you upgraded them. It was a wood cap with the Bortnikoff bee engraved on the into the wood. And beautiful cap, actually. I almost like it more than the new one. The new one is a little too bougie. This fits perfectly his brand, I think. And of course, you know, Bortnikoff gives you that touch. The bee on the sprayer, gorgeous presentation. But Amber Cologne is another one that has oud, but it's not about oud. This is not an oud fragrance. This is a citrusy summer, it's a heavy ambergris fragrance, by the way. There's two types of ambergris in this. There is gray and brown ambergris. And, you know, ambergris has the The reason that the French originally started using ambergris in fragrances, because if you think about it, who in the world would ever, think to put whale vomit or whale poop, however the sperm whale expels that ambergris from the body, whether it's the front or the back. I don't even think the scientists know for sure. But whoever thought to put it in perfumery, you almost have to ask yourself why they did that. And the reason is ambergris has a specific molecule which tends to lock scent in. So whenever they mix a fragrance with ambergris, it locks it in and it holds it. And that's the reason why ambergris can actually float on the ocean for thousands of years. And whenever they find it and it washes up on shore, it still has smells of the ocean, the animalic side from the whale, because of this molecule. I wish I'd have looked it up, because I would have loved to include that in the video, but I'm sure you could find it with a little bit of digging. But whatever that molecule is, it's one of the only molecules on Earth that can lock something in, that smell that strongly, basically for, ambergris there's no shelf life on ambergris. So whenever you put it in a fragrance like this, even though this is a summer fragrance, this is frangipani in the top, sweet orange, grapefruit, white grapefruit, bergamot, lemon, cardamom, jasmine, sambac, sandalwood, Virginia cedar, vanilla, oud, all those ingredients just get locked in by the ambergris. And I wore this on Father's Day to a very nice restaurant that my wife took me to. And, the scent memory is just ingrained in my head. And there is no doubt I was the best smelling guy in there. For summer, this stuff is amazing. It is an amazing ambergris fragrance. Here, let me read you the note that Bortnikoff actually says are in here on the card. So bergamot, lemon, white and pink grapefruit, sweet orange, cardamom, frangipani, jasmine sambac, Virginia cedarwood, sandalwood, gray and brown ambergris, oud from Sri Lanka by Bortnikoff, Boya Oud, which I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's probably maybe like someone else's distillery of oud, and then vanilla. So for a summer cologne fragrance, it doesn't get much better than this. I mean, I would wear this 100 times out of 100 over Chanel Pour Monsieur EDT. No offense to fans of that fragrance, but this is on a completely another level. And sorry for the reflection today, but if you're interested in kind of a summer fragrance, if you're in the market for a summer fragrance, or if you own some Bortnikoffs and you want to try some of his other perfumery styles that aren't just about oud. There's oud in this, but it's used as a base. It's not used, it's not like Oud Maximus where it's oud in your face. I'm very glad to have this. I need to wear it more, to be honest with you, because I need to try to wear some of my favorites more. But Amber Cologne is an absolute summer banger, and being in Texas, it was 80 degrees on Christmas here. These kind of fragrances are perfect for me. Okay, next. Next is a very interesting fragrance. It is Bortnikoff's take on a gourmand with oud, in my opinion. It's Oud Monarch. And I think this might be another one where they have a couple different formulations. I'm not 100% sure. But this, and again, you've got the older style cap, which I really like. Oh, that's so good. How can I explain this? It's almost like, an Oud Gourmand is really the best way to describe it. It does have an oudy feel. It has a little bit of an animalic feel to it because it has civet and castoreum in it. But the way that Bortnikoff blended this, and let me read you the notes again. Magnolia, frangipani in the top. So there's that combo that really he does so well. That creamy frangipani is out of this world. Rose de Mai, Himalayan rose, cinnamon, and tobacco in the heart. And then the base is Oud Monarch. I don't know what that is. Merauke. Oud Ko Chang. Feel Oud. I think that's his distillery. Cacao, civet, castoreum, labdanum, vanilla. So what's interesting about this fragrance, though, is that even though it has those animalic notes, and you saw the different types of oud that I read off to you, I think there's 2 or 3 types of oud in here, two types of oud in here. It mixes with that cacao, with that vanilla to give this gourmand feel where you could wear this. You know, I would wear this to the office. I mean, even though you look at the juice color and you think, no way, this is going to be brutal, it's not. You know, if you like oud, but the real heavy stuff that I like Oud Maximus, doesn't necessarily do it for you. You want something easier on the nose, or you want maybe more of a beginner's oud, check out Oud Monarch. It's so creamy. It's so, you know, remember I said the natural deer musk draws people in. This fragrance tends to draw people in my opinion. It's very hard to make. And you know, when I think about the way that this fragrance was created, it was created in a way where people like me, you know, the enthusiasts, will love this fragrance, but also somebody who doesn't know anything about perfumery, you could spray this on and they would go, wow, this is awesome. And that is a very hard thing to do, I think. And that just speaks to Bortnikoff's growth as a perfumer. He has different collections. I'm not sure where these collections fall. I think Mysterious Oud was like #1, you know, and then like Oud Monarch was #2, and then I think the next one coming up in Shifa De Nord were in the 3rd collection. So he does have different collections. You can see his growth as a perfumer. But Oud Monarch is a beautiful, again, would smell amazing on a woman, but I love wearing this as a man. It's completely unisex. And it's this chocolatey, gorgeous oud. It's, you know, for real oud, this is amazing, amazing stuff. The only problem is they're expensive. They're $300 to $350 for 50 ml. So, you know, you're not going to go get a backup bottle or anything of this. At least I'm not. I'll just wear one of the other ones in the collection. Okay, the last full bottle is a fragrance called Musk Khabib. Musk Khabib. And Musk Khabib is his take on a natural deer musk fragrance, is basically what it is. It is one of the most beautiful fragrances. If you like musk, and I do, you know, I own Musk's Kublai Khan. I own a lot of different musk heavy fragrances, and you know, this is basically right there at the top of the list in my opinion, just because I don't think, no matter how good the molecules are after smelling natural deer musk, I don't know how they can recreate this. It's like, you know, I heard Pierre Bourdon talking in an interview. He did an awesome 2-hour interview that I only watched for the first time a week or 2 ago. And he was saying that there were some old formulas in the past that even if you had the formula right in front of you and you knew exactly what to put in there, you couldn't make them today, because the old formula maybe called for 30% ambergris, and they can't use 30% ambergris today. It's too cost prohibitive and it's outlawed. So being in Thailand allows Bortnikoff to make something amazing like this. And, you know, if you're against using the natural deer musk, I completely understand. But for me, I want to experience all of what perfumery has to offer. And so, you know, I've read somewhere that one deer musk pod can basically create 100 to 200 bottles like this. And so, you know, they are put to good use. It's not like there's one dead deer for every bottle, let's say. But I just don't know how a perfumer, in my experience with the synthetics, I don't know how they can recreate this accord. I just can't see it. It's like that synthetic ambergris accord. Nothing replaces real ambergris for what it does. And I've learned that nothing replaces real deer musk for what it does. And this is not a beast. This probably lasts for 6 to 8 hours on my skin. But it is, for that 6 to 8 hours, it is one of the most beautiful things you will ever smell. It's just the natural deer musk with ambergris. Here, let me read you the notes. It's not super complex. Bergamot, cardamom, nutmeg in the top, ylang ylang, cedar, tolu balsam in the heart, ambergris, deer musk, oak moss, vetiver, tonka bean, and vanilla in the base. So it's not this insane, insanely complex fragrance. It's just that the natural deer musk is something that I don't think a lot of us are, used to smelling. We're not used to smelling something this beautiful. And it adds this element from nature that I just, I've never really smelled in any other musk fragrance. So this is a special one. Even though it's not the oud. The ouds are my favorite, but for musk, this is something, it really showcases, what he can kind of do with where he's at. Okay, now we're going to move on to my scent of the day. This is an 8.5 hour dry down that I have on. This is Tabac Doré. Tabac Doré. You can see Fragmanimus's name there, by the way. So check out his site if you're in the U.S. But this is all about tobacco and chocolatey oud is basically what it is. And he was actually, I saw an interview where I read something on this fragrance somewhere that was saying that tobacco absolute, so the absolute of tobacco, which they use in this composition, contains more than 300 different components. So they say it includes pyrazines and sweet and fruity damascones and this deep tobacco. Here, let me give it another spray because it's been a while. Here, I'll just give you guys my first impression. I mean, look at this. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Oh, God. I love tobacco. Tobacco is one of my favorite notes. I wish you could see the sheen on my hand from this spray. It is just, oh, there you go. Look at the color. Look at the color of the juice, actually, here. Look at the color of the juice. Oh God. I'm not gonna buy a bottle of this because I have so many good tobacco fragrances that I love. But if money was no issue, I would buy a bottle of this and I would buy a bottle of the next one that I'm showing you. The notes on this are ambrette in the top, vanilla, pink pepper in the top, and then the mid is tobacco, cinnamon, benzoin, and fig, which I don't get. I don't get the fig. In the base, Peru balsam, oud, tolu balsam, labdanum, sandalwood, and cedar. And this basically, what this smells like, I wish you could see how dark it is on my hand. But what this smells like is, imagine you have just walked into like a humidor in a cigar shop, in a big cigar shop with thousands of cigars everywhere. And it's old and it's been there for a long time. And it's mixed with this chocolatey, woody type accord. Almost a little bit gourmand feel. But it's a heavy fragrance. Actually, like I said, this is an 8.5 hour dry down on this hand. This is the new spray. And I can smell it like I just sprayed it. It is an absolute beast. It's a fragrance that to me is very celebratory. You know, tobacco, you go out with your boys and you have a couple cigars and, you kick back and have a nice drink or whatever it may be. It's a very, this fragrance is almost like a celebratory, relaxed type feel. But it's mature because of that note of tobacco. Tobacco is a very mature note when done right. And if I didn't have so many tobacco fragrances, and if this wasn't so expensive, I mean, this is a great tobacco. The only thing is that the first hour is very intense. You know, if you're like Eugene and you like skin scents, this is your arch nemesis. Because this is heavy, heavy in the first hour. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, the dry down is gorgeous though. If you can get past the first couple hours and it doesn't bother you too much, this is a fantastic tobacco. And then his newest release, which if I had to pick between these two, the Tabac Doré or this Lao Oud, I would go with Lao Oud, because what he has done here is also completely amazing to me. And I have a feeling he's just going to continue to release these type of fragrances if he is allowed to keep using the ingredients that he's using right now. Oh, this is so good. This is basically an oud fragrance, but instead of mixing it, you know, with that chocolatey, there is a chocolatey accord here, but there's a coffee accord, is what he's done with Oud Lao, or Lao Oud, I'm sorry. And there's this interesting coffee note. There's still the cacao, there's still the gourmand type feel, but there's this coffee note that blows me away every time in the opening. It only lasted for about 5, and this is, these fragrances are very intense. So this little 3 ml or whatever it is, this is 2 full days wearing for me. That I've gotten out of it. So you don't need a whole lot of juice. You could spring for the 7 or 9 ml Discovery Atomizers or whatever it is. But the notes in this one, and the reason I like this so much, is it's magnolia and pink pepper in the top, cacao, chamomile, Peru balsam, beeswax, and cinnamon in the mid, and then 2 types of oud, oud and Indian oud in the base, coffee, vanilla, tonka, birch tar, gaiac wood, and woody notes. So there is a coffee note listed. And what's interesting about this, and actually if I could switch it, I'll tell you what, if I could switch it, I know this is blasphemous, but I think I would rather have a full bottle of Lao Oud over Oud Monarch, just because this, I think adds a little bit more of that stink that I like. It's almost like you mixed Oud, I keep showing the box like you know what I'm talking about. It's almost like you mixed Oud Monarch and Oud Maximus together. And I love Oud Maximus for how the oud is so intense and stinky, but also so gorgeous. And then with the gourmand of here, like you mix these two together, added a coffee note, and boom, you get Lao Oud. That's literally what it is. And this is, if I had to buy another Bortnikoff, this would be it for sure. So I hope this video has kind of helped explore the world of Dusita, but mostly Bortnikoff, and some of the natural ouds. And I am, oh, I wanted to say thank you for getting me to 200 subscribers. You know, I only have had the channel going for about, 3 weeks or so now. And to have that many people subscribe and, talk to me in the comments and everything has been very pleasant. I've enjoyed interacting with everybody. And so I really do appreciate your support. I'm going to try to do as many of these as I can to try to, introduce you guys to kind of my collection, what I've gone for, what's out there, what my nose has picked up. And I'll always be 100% honest with you guys because I have no reason to lie. None of my videos are sponsored. These are my bottles that I paid my money with. No brand has ever given me a bottle. And so these are 100% my take on everything. So I would love to hear your thoughts on these two houses and any future videos that you think would be some good ideas. I'm going to continue to do this is not a top 10 series, and I'm going to continue to do the ingredients list. We did incense yesterday. I'll probably do one on oud where I bring out some of the other ouds. And sandalwood and all these other, I'm going to try to do one on maybe each individual ingredient. So Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I said it was going to be short. It's only 45 minutes, which is short for me. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.